This episode of Access to the Arts is being made possible through the support of First Bank Richmond, with 8 locations serving Wayne County. First Bank Richmond and you, doing great things together. Hi, I'm Eric, Executive Director of Whitewater Community Television and host of Access to the Arts. We're here at room 912 in downtown Richmond, Center City. A chance for you to see some of the display that's going on here with IU East and Livestream, and also we'll be having some conversation about how you can access the arts in Wayne County. To another edition of Access to the Arts on WETV Channel 20. I'm Eric Marsh, Executive Director of Whitewater Community Television. Glad you're able to join us for what hopefully will be an informative show for you. Lots going on around the area, and we are going to start with the Richmond Art Museum and a face that we have not had on the program before. We keep trying to find new people associated with things, and Stephanie Strait is with us. How are you?
I'm well, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing fine, thank you. You are assistant program, what is it?
I'm programming assistant at the Richmond Art Museum.
There you go.
So I do a little bit of everything, and I run the Fantascope High School Film Festival.
Okay, and we're going to start there, because some people may not have heard, some are very familiar with Fantascope.
Right.
Some may not have heard about it. Give us a little background on Fantascope.
Fantascope is a project that the executive director at RAM, Sean Dingworth, and I started in 2007. And so it's having its 12th festival this year. It is named after the original motion picture projection device by Richmond native C. Francis Jenkins, the Fantascope. And it is a nationwide high school film festival for young filmmakers.
Didn't start off nationwide, though, did it?
Didn't start off nationwide. Started off more of a Wayne County thing, and then went to Indiana and regional. We moved to an online submissions platform this year and felt it was a good opportunity to really open it up and start to showcase the best young filmmakers in the country, but also including local filmmakers as well, whose work is really, really right up there with the best.
We say nationwide, what do we get? 100, 125 entries?
Oh, we had over 300 in total.
Whoa.
We had 209 that were actually eligible, meaning they were by high school students in the US or Canada, 15 minutes or under in length.
Okay.
And I saw them all.
You saw them all. You saw 209 entries.
I did.
What do they range from? Are most of them horror, zombie?
They're very little zombie films, surprisingly. I would have thought those would be big.
Okay.
There are lots of dramas. There are lots of music videos. There are documentaries. There are a lot of films that are kind of clearly class projects. It's like a 1 or 2 minute PSA about a topic.
Okay.
They are from everywhere from Canada to California to the East Coast and Florida and everywhere in between. Nice. We actually have a musical that is playing in the program this year, a 5-minute musical film, which I'm really excited about. It's really good. Okay. So a lot of really, really great stuff.
You start with 209 entries.
Yeah.
You're talking about your program. So when is the program?
Program is April 13th. It is going to start at 7 p.m. at the Richmond Art Museum. We have a guest speaker every year, and this year our guest speaker is Richmond High School alum Larry Blanford. Larry is now working as a director of photography in Hollywood. He's been tremendously successful. He started out in the Air Force doing camera work and was actually the guy in the Air Force planes shooting the film from the planes in Top Gun. And that kind of launched his Hollywood career. He went to Hollywood when he got out of the Air Force. Has recently been director of photography on films like Hangman 2017 with Al Pacino, Tag that was out last year. Mm-hmm. He's got his next film coming out is a remake of Shaft with Samuel L. Jackson. Whoa. And he is like the head photography honcho in those films. So we're really excited he's going to be back to do a Q&A before the program. Okay. And then the screening itself will start at 7:30 and be followed by the awards ceremony. And the public can come and watch the screening and watch these movies? They can come for free. They can watch Larry Blanford. They can watch the films. They can stay for the awards. The whole thing is free, and it's at the Richmond Art Museum. And we'll find out who the winners are, get to see. These are the top of the... Right. We have a Best Film Award winner that is going to win a $1,000 cash prize. Okay. Then we have awards for Best Editing, Cinematography, Screenplay, lead performance, and documentary, and those will all be awarded at the festival.
Nice. That's not the only thing that you've got going on for high school students. What else?
Right. We really kind of think of high school, of April at Richmond Art Museum as High School Art Month. We have the Phantascope Film Festival. We also will have the All Wayne County High School Art Show, which includes all the 6 of the high schools in the Wayne County area. That is going to be opening April 28th, I believe, and it's a juried show. There will be awards there as well, and that show will be up for a month or so at the Richmond Art Museum. You can come and see all of the great fine art hanging on the walls.
We're talking with Stephanie Strait from the Richmond Art Museum. We've got about a minute left. I know there is an event coming up that people love to get on their calendar. The Secret Garden Tour is coming up. Tell us a little bit about this year.
Secret Garden Tour is going to be June 22nd and 23rd. It's always that last weekend in June. It is going to have, I think, 4 gardens this year, plus the boutique that we do every year. And there's also a paint out where we have local painters come to the gardens and paint at the gardens. And there's also an art sale in conjunction with that work that they have painted previously that they sell at the event. So if you are a gardener or interested in fine art, or you're an artist yourself, something for everybody at Secret Garden Tour. It's a really great event.
Sounds good. Mark those dates on your calendar. Stephanie Strait with the Richmond Art Museum. I appreciate the time today.
Thank you.
But it was just my imagination once again running away with me. It was just my imagination.
Welcome back to Access to the Arts. We have changed spots. We are in room 912 where the IU East and Lifestream Senior Art Exhibit is on. Actually, what will be the final exhibit here at room 912. We are speaking with Andy Dudas from DIVA. How are you today?
I'm doing great. It's a good day to be in Richmond.
Yes, it is. You all have been doing improv for a while now. You've been bringing in celebrity or guest performers.
We've been at this improv thing since I believe it was September of 2018, and people are showing a lot of great interest in it. A lot of tickets sell. We virtually sell every single performance.
Nice. This is going to be real short, but you've got one guest coming up in April. Tell us about that show.
Yeah, Friday, April 5th, Ed De La Paz from the Wayne County Chamber of Commerce will be joining us as our guest improviser. And
that's going to be interesting.
It's a lot of fun. Ed is one of our super fans, actually. Ed is, we know we can count on Ed to be there every month, and we was like, why don't you try your hand at this? And he was happy to give it a shot.
Cool. He's been doing some different things.
Ed's a really interesting guy. We like Ed a lot.
Yeah. And then your May show.
Yes, May 3rd with Beth Herrick. Okay. And Beth has been one of these. We have had, because we had guests lined up for subsequent months. And we were like, Beth, we're going to get to you. Just relax. So Beth is just super excited to be a part of this, and it's kind of a nice little window into what we're doing. That people are wanting to be involved and wanting to be a part of what we're doing, and that's the whole mission behind DIVA, is to get more people involved in the arts and bring people together.
And you all have a space that can actually be rented out if someone wants to do a small performance?
Yes, the whole idea is for our current space is that for an artist that wants to have an exhibition or a small performance of some kind, or anything that's kind of arts related, and that's a broad spectrum of things. So through our website at imadiva.org, you can, there is a user request form to fill out and such, and to see how there are different fee structures and things for, whether it's an exhibition or potentially like a sale of items or whatever. But the whole idea is to bring people into the space and to find ways for people to explore their art, to whether it's creating the art or consuming the art.
Okay. Looking forward. We will keep up with you all as you continue to move this along, and I'm sure there will be some other interesting performers coming up in the near future.
Everything is on the table at DIVA.
I can imagine that that's true.
That's right.
All right. Andy Dudas from DIVA, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Access to the Arts. We're in room 912 in downtown Richmond, Center City, uptown, wherever it is we are. And we are speaking with Dr. Alex Grabarchuk from Earlham College. Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
You are Director of Choral Activities, or some title close to that. How close am I?
You're very close. I'm Director of Choral Activities and Visiting Assistant Professor of Musicology.
Okay. Let's find out a little bit about you if we can for a minute. Sure. Where are you visiting from?
I've been based in Los Angeles for the last 20 years. That's where I got my PhD, and that's where I was teaching before I came to Richmond.
What brought you to Earlham College?
Well, it's a school with an amazing reputation for its academics and for its performing arts. And one of the things that I found quite compelling about the school was its choral department and its collaboration, its oratorio collaboration that we'll be talking about today.
Oratorio collaboration, that's a term we haven't heard here. What does it mean?
It means that every 2 years, Earlham choirs join together with choral members from IU East, as well as members of the community who are interested in singing, and we'll put on a big choral project along with the Earlham Orchestra and usually members of the RSO, the Richmond Symphony Orchestra. And sometimes we'll do an actual oratorio, like Handel's Messiah, for example. Mm-hmm. This year we're focusing on Leonard Bernstein, and we're doing works specifically by that composer.
Why him?
It was his 100th birthday, his centennial last year, and so performing groups around the nation have been doing Bernstein things, and we thought we'd jump on the bandwagon and join in.
When is this performance?
Our performance is April 13th, Saturday, April 13th at 8 p.m. in Civic Hall.
Okay. You mentioned that this is a collaboration, IU East, Earlham College, RSO singers, and some community members. How did the community members come to be involved, and what kind of split is there between the colleges and the community members?
Yeah, so we're about half and half students and half community members, which is wonderful for everyone to get a chance to sort of get to know one another and kind of feel like we're really a part of this community. Earlham can sometimes be a little bit isolated from the community at large, and so this is a great way for us to integrate into what the community is doing. I believe the collaboration initially began around 2013 when Jessica Raposo came to be chair of music at IU East and suggested that we combine forces so that we have bigger numbers and sort of exciting momentum and energy for the singers to join with orchestra.
Nice. What is it that the audience can expect from this performance? Are there certain works that he has done that people might be looking forward to, or that you're having fun directing?
It's a great question. So probably the thing most people know Bernstein for would be West Side Story, the musical West Side Story. So we're doing a choral suite from West Side Story with the orchestra, super fun. But we're also doing a couple of more spiritually weighty works. Bernstein is, of course, known for his up-tempo musical theater stuff, but he was also a deeply spiritual composer. And so we're going to be doing a snippet from his Jeremiah Symphony. We're going to be doing his Chichester Psalms, which is Hebrew settings of different psalms, again with orchestra, and that's something I'll be conducting with the orchestra. I'm very excited about that opportunity. And we're also going to be doing selections from his Mass, which is a large-scale work that combines both classical forces, but also with a little bit of a rock and roll feel. So we have a bit of a rock band situation happening too.
That sounds like that's going to be interesting. The date again is April 13th?
April 13th, 8 p.m.
It's a Saturday night at Civic Hall Performing Arts Center. Yes, it's Civic Hall Performing Arts Center. As we get to the end of the year with some of the colleges, there are sometimes student performances and things like that coming up. Are there other events that you're aware of, student events or something, that you want to tell our folks about?
Sure. I'll do a shameless plug for our Earlham Choral Concert, which is separate from this concert. Mm-hmm. We'll be doing a performance on Sunday night, April 28th, at 7:30 p.m. in Lingle Recital Hall in our Center for Visual and Performing Arts. The theme for that concert will be meditations. So we'll be doing meditative music from around the world.
A relaxing evening.
Through the centuries, hopefully.
Okay. We'll be looking forward to all of that. Dr. Alex Grabarchuk from Earlham College, thank you very much for spending time. Hopefully you'll come back and join us again.
Thanks so much, Eric.
how I got involved in painting. For years, I saw the old guy on TV painting every week, and I always felt I could do that. Never took the time to try, but I always felt I could. Around the age of 50, I had a cancer scare that made me realize there's no promise for tomorrow. So I decided then, if there's something you want to do or need to do, don't wait till tomorrow. I was walking in the Hobby Lobby and saw the sign, said Bob Ross painting class today. I figured today's the day. So I went in and signed up, and I was the last name to sign up. I always wondered what would have happened if there had been no room there, but that was my introduction to painting. And once I sat down and started painting, I realized this is not only something I want to do, it's something I need to do. And my life kind of changed at that moment. That's how I got started painting. When I was taking my training for certification, I was painting way too fast, and everybody kept telling me to slow down. And I thought, well, maybe that's my thing, to paint fast. So some of my friends challenged me if I could paint a whole painting in one song. And so we set up, and I discovered I could do that. And then thanks to Dave Snow with the City Life Art Day, I was able to do some live demonstrations on the stage out there where we played music, one song, and I painted away, put the top hat, sunglasses on, and the rock and roll painter was born. Inspiration is a funny animal. Sometimes you can't find it, sometimes it's right there. I'm most inspired by landscapes and the seascapes. I don't know why, the sea just draws me into it. So lighthouses, seascapes, that's what really connects with me. Even though we live in the middle of the United States and everybody wants to see barns, I really connect to seascapes. What I like to tell people is the courage to try. Don't be afraid to try. If there's something you want to do, just pick that, especially painting, just pick that brush up and give it a try, because you never know what you can do until you try. So that's my belief, that's my philosophy, the courage to try.
Welcome back to Access to the Arts. We just saw the artist spotlight on J.D. Wayne, the rock and roll painter, who actually you can normally find Wednesdays at Aanda Gallery and Gifts, 534 East Main Street in Uptown Richmond. And we have the owner of the shop here with us, Melinda Wilson. How are you?
I'm doing great. How about you, Eric?
I'm great, thank you. Now, I do this every time, but I probably should say that Melinda is a member of the Whitewater Community Television Board of Directors. That's not why she's here, though. Right. Why she's actually here is the fact that in your shop, besides JD, you really have done a big focus on local artists.
I have. We have several.
What was the reason behind that? When you opened your shop, and you've been open how long?
It was 2 years in December. Okay. So about 2.5 years now.
Why did you decide to focus so heavily on local art?
Because a lot of the artists, they don't have enough content to actually have their own shops and their own galleries to open in. So this gives them a place that they can interact with the community, and the community can be exposed to their artwork where otherwise they may not. And a lot of our artists do their work in their home studios. So by doing it in their home studios, that's pretty much where it is. So if people don't know who they are, they may not see it somewhere. So we have, as far as through the states of Indiana and Ohio, I represent over 20 artists, and a lot of those are local in several different mediums.
What kind of mediums? What are we talking about?
We have pottery. So we have Marcia Penley, and she's there on Wednesdays. We have JD, of course, JD Wayne and his oil art. Photography with Diana Pappin. I'm trying to think. We have fiber arts, fashion, with local Mary Kay Kidwell. Okay. And we also have Ray Armstrong, who's a local weaver, oil artist, as well as an author. So when he's there, he does book signings as well as is a Meet the Artist.
You're Meet the Artist. Mm-hmm. How often are you having that? That's a pretty regular event for you.
It is. We, on the most part, we have someone in there every day that we're open, which is Wednesday through Saturday. And so during that time frame, you'll come in, and a lot of times the faces you will see may not be mine. You know, it'll be our artists that are represented there, and it gives them an opportunity to really give you an insight on what drove them to do their actual piece of art, and the inspiration behind that. So it gives you a time to just get to know who they are, and that I have noticed, and the reason for it is because it helps give more value to the art. It might be a piece you love, but when you know the ins and outs of it, you connect with it. And you connect with the artist.
What has the reaction to the community been? Because the whole art culture is beginning to grow a little bit
Right.
more, but to be able to walk into a shop, talk to an artist, know they're going to be there, know somebody's going to be there that can explain it, it's good for the artists.
Absolutely.
How has it helped the community?
The people have responded well. I mean, they go in and, like I was sharing, they get to connect with that artist. It's not just coming in and buying a gift for somebody. You're actually supporting the gifts the artist has, and then getting to know who they are. They like to make that personal connection, and Richmond is a community-driven area. So, it's a very close-knitted community, as well as Wayne County. And so just to be able to say, oh yeah, I've got so-and-so's piece in my home, they have a pride in that. And so they do enjoy getting to know who they are and just getting to see maybe some of the advancements, the different mediums that they're using, because one artist may come in and just, I'm actually going to use J.D. Wayne as an example, because J.D. has actually been an artist in our gallery from the beginning, and he started with oils. And since then, he has progressed with the oils on ostrich eggs and on vases, and then different types of oils. He does pet portraits now, and then he also does scratchboarding. So they come in just to see, okay, what's different even with this artist. Sure. And then they change their art periodically, so they're able to see different avenues of it. And in addition to our local artists, for example, like Rick Wilson is an oil artist that had a solo exhibit over at RAM during the anniversary of the Indiana State Parks. And I asked him, do some local work too, and put it in the gallery. And so we have 3 waterfalls from Wayne County that Rick actually came to Wayne County to do specifically for on the gallery.
Nice.
So it's represented.
Besides the local artists, you focused on fair trade. Why did you do that?
Art is my addiction, and then fair trade is my passion. And I lived in Mozambique, Africa. I've been involved in outreaches since 1982. And with the fair trade, and it's amazing how so many people don't know what fair trade means. With the fair trade, you're able to support artists in these small villages that are in impoverished countries. So they're given a fair price for their work. So they're able to take care of their families and their communities. And in addition to receiving that fair price, they also receive community assistance, whether it be through medical, educational, or business financing. And so just being able to touch lives through every aspect of the gallery is what we're all about. Because in addition to the fair trade and touching the lives, every purchase that's actually made in the gallery, we make a donation to From the Heart International, which is my humanitarian aid organization that is a 501c3, and you will see the different outreaches that we do with that. So you're a part of continuing to make it happen, like the ripples of the wave, which is what Onda actually means.
If we're looking to find you, website, Facebook, what's the easiest way to connect?
Well, we have a Facebook page, of course, and then we also have our website, which has been a long time coming. We had issues, and so the developers are completing it now, and so it's www.ondafairtrade.com.
Okay. Thank you, Melinda, for being here.
Thank you.
Appreciate the time. Welcome back to Access to the Arts. We're speaking with a regular on our show. She doesn't want to be, but she is.
It's fine. I like being here.
Monica Koechlein for Richmond Symphony Orchestra. How's it going?
It's going okay. We're busy. It's fun.
I would say it's winding down, but I'm not sure you all wind down anymore.
I don't think we have any downtime during the year.
You've got your final show coming up on the 13th of
the 6th of April.
The 6th, sorry, of April. Strings.
Strings only. So no, we're not doing Baroque this year where we add a few French horns into it. It's just strings.
Okay.
Pretty nice.
Should be good. Your event, back to the 80s as we change the decades. Are you getting excited
Well,
yet?
as I mentioned on the last show, right, the 80s were my jam. So I am really excited about the 80s. I think a lot of people in the community are.
Okay. And that's going to be when? Tell us that again.
That's on April 27th. We're headed to the Tom Raper Center this year. Just a full lineup. The RSO singers are going to be there again. Just spoke with Gallo this morning. Lots of fun appetizers. I think one of his appetizers happens to be, Shout at the Deviled Eggs. So we're doing a lot of play on music of the 80s. I know, it just gets better and better, doesn't it?
I may have to go.
Full orchestra concert we're really excited about, lots of 80s movie themes. And then we'll have a fantastic dinner. We're working through that. We might be seeing chicken pot pie for dinner, a nice old 80s favorite. But if you don't get it, don't be disappointed because we are still working through that. And then we'll end with an 80s cover band called the Ronald Reagans.
Okay.
It's going to be fantastic.
You all have really dug deep for this one.
We're digging deep, is right. So.
And the other thing that I know we want to mention before we go back is something that people also like to put on their calendar because it's a sure sign that the weather is changing.
Here.
We get to go to the Rose Garden.
We get to go to the Rose Garden and have the fifth annual Chocolate Garden on May the 25th from 4 to 6. But I encourage people to get there early because once the chocolate runs out, we're not replacing it. So come early, enjoy. We'll probably have the brass there again or another ensemble. It'll be a really nice event, free to the public.
It's always good seeing them there's something about them in the gazebo that just really works.
The music carries there really well. It is nice. They enjoy being there and they're regulars there, so.
Okay. And the final plans are still being put together for next year's series.
Yes, I, as a matter of fact, just took a call a few minutes ago. We are literally on the final edit of the brochure. We have 5 exciting guest artists. One that I'm excited about because he left before I came. We'll have assistant concertmaster from 5 years ago, Josh Ulrich, coming back to play with us. Nice. So just some really exciting things. And in fact, Guy's wife, Deb Bordeaux, will be singing with the RSO this year as well. So lots of excitement.
There you go. There's your tease. Keep up with more information. If somebody wants to know, they want to keep up with what's going on, Absolutely. They want to go back to the 80s.
RichmondSymphony.org.
All right.
Love to have them.
Monica, thank you very much.
Appreciate your time.
Thanks to my guests this month on Access to the Arts. Hope you get out and enjoy a lot of the things that are going on around the community that they talked about. There are some other things going on. As we head out, here's a list for you. This episode of Access to the Arts has been made possible through the support of First Bank Richmond, with 8 locations serving Wayne County. First Bank Richmond and you, doing great things together.